Hello, I'm Chris with Red House Software, and today I'm going to show you how to add a text box to the user interface. And we're going to use that text box as a field to use to differentiate between different types of contacts. And so let's just go ahead and click on a record here, and you see it immediately jumps over to the Contacts tab. Now, I only have a few records in here right now, but what I've done so far, this user interface here probably looks a little different than what you may have because it's already been modified from the original Super Rolodex. So what I want to do is I want to add a text box, and we're going to add it right down in here somewhere. I've already got a label here, and I'm going to explain that real quick here. This label is just kind of a key to telling us what kind of numbers we want to put in this text box. And I'll explain that here in a little bit. But for now, I'm going to show you how to add a text box. So first of all, we need to go up here to File and click the Menu button. And we're going to go over here to the Interface Design button. You click on that. And now we're in the interface design area. This is where the magic happens. This is where you can add text boxes to the user interface, and you can remove text boxes. You can make all kinds of changes to each object. Now when I say an object, I'm referring to an object being like a text box or a label or an image or something like that. So to add an object, in this case, we're going to add a text box. Like I said, we're going to put it down in this area here. You go up here to New. These are all the different object types that you can add. And when you hover over it, you will see over here what type of object it is. There's labels, text areas, which I call them text boxes. There's combo boxes, which is a drop down, so we're not going to cover that today. There's checkboxes, static images, and dynamic images. So for now, we're just going to focus on adding just a text box. And this, by the way, tells you how many is remaining, how many text boxes are left that you can use to add to the system. And that's how many you can add to the system in this particular database. If you have additional databases, then it starts all over at 200 of each. But anyway, so what we're going to do is we're going to click Add Text Area, and it just says it wants to confirm 1 text area objects are about to be added to the Contacts tab. Click OK to proceed or cancel to abort. We're going to click OK, and you'll see that the text box is attached to the mouse, and it just sort of follows along as I move the mouse, and we're going to just click the mouse, a single left click, to drop it, and it is selected. You can tell that because it's got a red box here and the blue boxes around the edges. These are handles. Now you need to be able to click on the handle to do something, like you can adjust the height by clicking on the upper one, and you can change the height like that. We're going to click again. You can click down on the lower one to change the height as well. If you click this one, we might have a slight little problem because it's overhanging these other objects, and so if I click this, it might select the object behind it. No, it didn't. We're good. So we can shorten it this way. If you find yourself in a situation where you can't click on that button because it is overhanging another object, you can change the width up here. So for example, this was over here. See, there we go. I got a problem here. It selected that one. So what I want to do is I want to select this one, and I just wanted to show you that you can change the width, not using just the mouse like I'm doing now, but you can change the width by going up here. So right now this width is 145 pixels. Let's just cut that in half, and let's just call it, I don't know, let's just go 75 pixels. And as I typed that number, you can see that this changed its width. So what I was getting at is that if this handle is over the top of something, you can simply just change the width so it gets itself into a position where you can select it. It's a little awkward, but it's a simple fix. So I want to shorten this even more. We're going to click on it and shorten it to about there. So as you can see, the blue handles are what controls the size of the object. The red handle, when you click on it, it immediately attaches itself to the mouse, and you simply move the mouse around to wherever you want to position it, and you click it again to drop it. Okay? So let's move this down to about here. So I've already made a label, and I've titled it, here, we'll click on it. This is what they call a multi-line label, or at least I've changed it to a multi-line, and I've done that by checking this box here. Multi-line just means that you can have more than one line in that label. Like all of these labels, like I'll click on this one here, the multi-line box is not checked. But this one here, with the multi-line box checked, then it has word wrap. So you can enter multiple lines in that label. And where you would do that is up here in the text. If you click this little box here, there you go. You can see that's the text that is in that label. Okay? Alright, and we're going to get back to the main form, so we're going to exit this screen. Actually, let's add one more label. I want to put a label that says what this is. And I'm sorry, actually, before I do that, I forgot to tell you, anything that's a text box, you're going to want to give it a name, because that name is going to be the name of the field that you'll see in the data grid and in the fields that you can select when you're searching. So this text box, I want to call it record type. I'm sorry, contact type. All right. So I've just given it the word contact type. And we're going to save it. Now when we exit over here, now we're back on the main screen. There's our box that we added. And where that becomes important, I forgot to add a label, didn't I? I wanted to put a label here that says contact type also. We'll just do that real quick. Sorry for the confusion. We'll go over here to Interface Design. We're going to click New. We're going to add a label. Click OK. And that label attaches to the mouse, and you can put it wherever you want. We'll drop it right there. And we want to change what it says from label 28. And we're not going to change it up here. That's the name of the object. In this case, we want to change the text that's on that object. So the text, I want the text to say contact type. Okay, let's get our characters straight here. And we're going to click Save. Let's actually shorten this up just a little bit like that. And maybe get that a little closer. There, I like that better. Alright, let's get back to the main screen. Here we are. That's the label that we had added. Here's the text box that we had added. And I'd already had that one there, of course. So what we're going to do with this text box is we want to put numbers in here that represent whatever the contact type is. So we're going to assign we want to assign a number 1 to all the attorney records, number 2 to all the bank records, and number 3 for anything that's a client record. So I only got a few to choose from here. So right here, we got this record selected, and their data is over here. This is an attorney type company, right? So we're going to give this a 1 and save. The next one down, this one happens to be a bank, so we're going to give that a bank type number, which is going to be number 2. Next one down, Acme Plumbing Services. Well, they're not a bank and they're not an attorney, they're a client, so we're going to give them a number 3. All right, and Smith and Smith Service. Well, I have in my notes here that this is an attorney service, so it's an attorney type company, so we're going to give them a 1. And these guys here are also an attorney, so let's give them a 1 as well. So there's a couple of different ways that you can search, and I'm going to show you my first method that I really prefer, and then I'm going to show you how this can come into play as a different type of search that might come in handy that you'll like. So I'm going to refresh. So if I was going to search my database for an attorney, and let's say I don't even know what the attorney company name is, I just want to type in attorney. If I can spell it right. Okay, I've typed in attorney here. Now, here's the thing to keep in mind. This search field right here searches just the company name field. It doesn't search all the other fields, it just searches the company name field. So if I were to search for attorney right now, it pulls up 2 records because it found attorney here and it found attorney here. It also found it here, but it really wasn't looking there. That's a secondary search that automatically initiated itself. But the bottom line is this search field right here only searches the company name right here. Okay, so we got 2 records that pulled up when I searched for attorney. So my preferred way is to use the All Fields button. So if I click All Fields, watch what happens. Now we got 3 records, not 2. So why was that? Why do we have 3 records now? Well, we have 3 records because this All Fields button does what it says. It searches all the fields for attorney. So obviously it found it in the company name here. And this one, it didn't find it in the company name here, but it did find it down here. And this one here, it found it down here. So all the records that are attorney type records I found simply by typing in attorney and clicking the All Fields button. That's a pretty simple way to search, and you don't have to go anywhere. You're all on this one main form. But the other way that you can search and drill down and show just your attorney type records is by searching for all the number 1s, right? Because remember, number 1 is tied to all the attorneys. So if you click on each one of these, you'll see that they all have a number 1 attached to them, remember? So let's refresh. We have all our records back, even our client right here. Remember, he's a number 3. All right, so let's show you how this type of search is going to come in handy. It's kind of slick, but it's kind of cumbersome at the same time in the fact that you have to leave this search type here. You have to actually go into the advanced search. So the advanced search is kind of nice because it gives you 6 different text boxes, 6 different search fields. So you can really drill down. So if you got tons of records that all have the same company name, you can separate them and drill down by additional factors like contact name and title, department and phone, etc., etc. Well, these are all drop-down boxes. So in these drop-down boxes, are the titles, the names of the fields. So remember when I had added contact type? That's where it's picking it up right there, contact type. So we're going to search the contact type, which is this box right here. And we're going to search number 1. And you can either hit enter or hit the search button. Well, it found 2. Why did it only find 2? There's 3 of them, isn't there? Well, it only found 2 because I left attorney up here, didn't I? So it's searching for anything that has the name of attorney and a contact type of 1. Well, let's take that out of there and redo our search with just contact type 1. There we go. There's our 3. There's our 3 records. So that advanced search works great, but in reality it takes a little bit more steps. So I find that I really don't use it that much. I pretty much stick with the main form and do all my searching right here, because I can either search by the company name or I can search all fields, and that's usually enough for what I do. But I just wanted to show you that. So that's how that works. And what else can I show you just real quick? I think that's pretty much all I wanted to cover. Again, to add that text box, all I did was I went to the More button. This More button is actually also up here in the File button, so they're the same thing. So you click the Menu button, and we click Interface Design, and we clicked New, and chose the text box, and we dropped it on here and positioned it. So that's how you do that. And just keep in mind, anytime you do a text box, give it a name like we did here. We gave it a name of contact type, because that name is what shows up in the advanced search field right here. So you can search by contact type. I guess that's all I wanted to show you for today on this short little video. So if you have any questions, give me a shout. My email address is redhousesoftware@comcast.net. And we'll leave it at that for now, and we'll catch you on the next one. Thanks for watching.